Well, here I am again. I'm currently with my little Ivy plushie right here. She's the most precious thing ever. I just ordered her a month ago and I can't leave her by my side ever since. Anyways, 2023 has been a really good year for animation. It feels weird saying that considering this was the first year I couldn't watch a new Amphibia episode, and this was the year where its sister show reached its conclusion. But there are so many freaking highlights in animation this year, and it just proves that there is still clearly a lot of demand for good quality animation in the streaming age, where the existence of platforms like Netflix and HBO Max kills a lot of their longevity. And this is a year where Disney's animation output isn't as popular as it used to be. You can't say it's not coming, their movies have gotten so formulaic for the past few years. They are lucky Encanto carried all the profits in the previous year. Now what? Wish? No. Elemental is cool, but it feels very average for Disney standards, nothing all that groundbreaking. So let's list the animation movies that I watched in 2023. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish did come out in 2022, but I only got to see it just at the start of the year after with my online friends. And yeah, I mean, it's really fun. I didn't care all that much for the original, but yeah, DreamWorks really stepped up with the animation and the characters with this one. I didn't expect for a Puss in Boots movie to be such a big deal, but hey, if a movie's great, it is great. Super Mario Bros. Movie also came out this year after so much anticipation from the gaming community. Look, it's a kids movie made by Illumination. I accept the fact that it's not going to blow my mind. I'll take the digestible plot, neat 3D animation, the references and Easter eggs, Chris Pratt doing his best Italian accent, and I'll be satisfied. Oh, and I guessed hearing Jack Black as Bowser too. Hearing him singing songs about peaches is the second most entertaining cinematic novelty song of the year, right behind Ryan Gosling's I'm Just Ken. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the biggest animated movie of the year and one of the most ambitious animated films ever made. Just when I thought that the first movie couldn't be matched, hoo boy, 2.5 hours of emotional rollercoaster and insane animation set pieces. I had to watch this movie in the theater twice to really truly digest it. The new cast of characters are colorful, likable, and instantly iconic. The animation again is going to be one of the craziest you'll ever see in your life. Daniel Pemberton's soundtrack work sends chills down my spine, man. Everything about the movie is just perfect. It's a blockbuster that won't be topped anytime soon, at least until the next installment comes out. I hope the studio does slow down to really perfect the final movie, and I hope the animators get a better working environment. Nimona, a movie that is still underrated amongst other people in my opinion. A fantastic movie about, well, just being yourself. The dynamics between the two main characters are so lighthearted and engaging throughout. The story itself is fun, thrilling, emotional, but ultimately bittersweet. This movie has one of the most bittersweet endings to a movie I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, please do. I really recommend it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. While yes, some people have criticized how many pop culture references and quote-unquote cringy jokes are crammed into this movie, I feel like that's kind of the point. They're just teenagers, like come on. I also like the stop motion-ish feeling of the animation, also the various classic East Coast hip-hop songs used in some scenes. They feel very faithful to the setting of New York. The Boy and the Heron. The way Hayao Miyazaki is conveying the core message about death and living your life in an imperfect world is so creative and unthinkable. The locations are wondrous, the characters, whether they're major or minor, bring so much life into the movie. It's definitely a movie that I would put in the higher tiers in the Ghibli movies. Oh, did I forget to mention Suzume? Yeah, that one's a fun time too. So that's it for the animated movies this year. Very plentiful indeed, but there are still cartoons and animes to cover, and trust me, there aren't any shortages of good shows that came out this year too. Lego Monkey Kid comes out with a new season, and just like with every year, it is fire. Moon Girl has a very good debut. I've already talked about it in a separate video. Molly McGee premiered its second season, and I will talk about that in a future video. But the real highlight of this year's animation comes from Glitch Production. Shout out to them because two of their shows really blew up this year. One of them is Murder Drones, which already had a pilot a couple years back, but I only got into it very late this year, and it's really thrilling and high quality for an indie animation series. It has an interesting concept about, well, drones that kill stuff. The interactions between the two main characters are really cute. It fits the grumpy emo girl and cheerful extroverted Sonic-esque boy dynamic very well. If you've seen Final Space, you'll be familiar with how similar the emotional stakes work in Murder Drones. There's even a prom episode already. I mean, wow, talk about a complete show. Of course, I can't move on without mentioning that other show that has its pilot uploaded in October and as of right now has received more than 200 million views. It's crazy how an indie show gets all this attention. It clearly shows that people just want silly, goofy shows sometimes. Well, the amazing digital circus does have a dark side to it, yes, but it doesn't distract from the fact that there are so many memorable scenes, lines, and memes coming out of it. My favorite meme has to be the one where it was written by 50 Pop. I cannot stop quoting that meme for weeks. The characters are so colorful, you can't tell who's who in an instant, and yet, beneath the silliness, you can tell there's something mysterious shrouding the circus itself. And while yes, it does spawn countless fan videos that give me a headache, it's definitely a huge mark for animation this decade in terms of the growing interest in indie animation. Now let's get into the animes. Oshi No Ko is an interesting show. It has a really great pilot episode. I don't think any show I've watched this year has a better introduction episode. But other than that, the show is pretty good. It doesn't quite reach the heights of the debut episode as it very effectively introduces the harsh underbelly of the entertainment industry as a whole. But it doesn't need to do that. It knows what it's going to be. We know about the main character's motivations. It also has a very interesting, I don't want to say a potential love triangle, but a two-sided dynamic that will be entertaining in future arcs. Demon Slayer returns with the Swordsmith Village arc, and I'm so happy about it. Well, mostly for my boy Michiro, where he finally gets his spotlight. I love seeing that scene where he just hangs out with Tanjiro and Nezuko, and by hanging out I mean just staring at each other awkwardly. It's so funny. I know Jujutsu Kaisen has made a ton of buzz this year, but I haven't caught up with it yet. And finally we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End. It's an anime that takes a fresh and interesting spin on the usual adventurous plot to defeat the enemy. Instead of that, this anime takes place after the battle is over. And as the elf, Frieren lives on for 100 more years. Her loved ones are slowly fading away. And as she continues her journey with the new companions, Frieren keeps gaining more and more fond memories about her decade-long journey with her companions, especially Himmel. Many scenes from this show are straight up montages and just the gang chilling out, but the anime does such a good job on building a vibe around those, if you get what I'm saying. It's such a comfortable show to watch. And I think that's enough animation for 2023. There are so many good things to highlight this year, and I surely hope 2024 will continue that streak. And it definitely has gotten off to a strong start. Please be good, please be my year. Anyways, you can follow my Twitter if you want to keep up with what I do every day. Thanks for watching. See ya!